Today is a huge day for the 300ZX because we officially have a wheel sponsor. I'm gonna go ahead and open these things up and I'll show you, and I actually have tires as well. We're gonna get these things mounted hopefully this weekend, but this is amazing. I've never had a wheel sponsor before. This is crazy. Option Lab has decided to offer me a partial sponsorship, a very good sponsorship for some wheels. Now these are 18 by 9.5 plus 38 offset, I believe. And like I mentioned, we have tires to mount as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these unpackaged and show you guys real quick. We're gonna go ahead and get these loaded up into the old Audi, and we're gonna take them to the shop and get tires put on. And then one thing I did just realize is I don't have the tire pressure sensors, which could be an issue. Hopefully they sell those. Other than that, I also need lug nuts, which I didn't think about. Eventually we'll get these things mounted. Got the wheels loaded up. All four of them in this tiny car. And we don't mind the boost gauge. We are gonna go drop these things off. All right guys, we got our wheels dropped off. And over here is our tires. We got some Nitto NT 555s to put on this thing. They're 265 wide. They are meaty. They're gonna look so good. So excited to see this wheel setup on. All right, we got the wheels from the tire shop with the tires mounted and balanced. And one's already on the car, but I'm not gonna show you yet. And also one has a crazy amount of damage, which is also the one on the car, so I can't show that either, but here's the wheels and they're about to go on. The wheels are officially on the car and they look amazing. I'm so happy with this. At first I was a little skeptical, but they fit perfect. I mean, I thought they were not going to be flush, but they are fairly flush with no spacers. I mean, this is good fitment. Obviously that is not, but as far as side to side, we are looking very good. Now, I'm getting a lot of comments on Facebook that I'm still going to spin on these tires, which I'm not sure if I will. I guess we'll see, but they are 265s. They're Nitto NT 555s. I've heard pretty good reviews about them, so I guess we'll see. In this video, not only are we installing brand new wheels and tires, we also have a set of coilovers to slam the car onto the ground. So these coilovers are Blox Racing, and this is also sponsored. Like I just mentioned, today we're finally going to be fixing the wheel gap on the 300ZX. Those of you who are new to this channel, this is my Z32, and it has a 2JZ swap, which I've done all myself, aiming for 550 wheel here soon. And we just recently got the first drive, so go ahead and check out that video on the channel. Now, while you clicked on the video, we are going to be lowering the car. So as you can see, our fitment is pretty awful. So the goal is to have some nice fitment that just looks better than this and is still functional, because I don't want the car slammed on the ground. You know, it's gonna be fast. We're gonna go for some nice, just daily fitment, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to install these. So luckily, if you have a Z32, you have one of the easiest coilover installations of all time. It's literally just the top 2 bolts and the bottom. That's it. You can drop them out. You don't gotta remove any control arms, anything else. It's just coilovers. So to start off with, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the back, and we're gonna get the back up in the air, and we're gonna pull off these old crusty struts. So to start off, we're gonna do the rear first, and we gotta go ahead and get number 1, the wheel up in the air and off the car, and then number 2, we gotta get up top and remove some of the trim pieces and get to the bolts up top. So let's get to that. Okay, so I've got the trunk all apart. I mean, you pretty much have to take off every single interior panel, as well as the seats. Such a pain. But other than that, it's easy from here on. So there's your strut tower bolts on both sides. So you'll take those 2 off, as well as the bottom bolt, and the coilover comes right out. So we're gonna go ahead and get up this side, up in the air, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove that strut. Now with the wheels off, you can see that that bolt is exposed. So it's going to be that one right there. And then we'll take off the top 2, and that strut will come right out. The top nuts are off, as well as the bottom nut. So now I gotta go ahead and push this down to give me, to release the pressure off of this bolt. And then I can pull the bolt out and pull the strut out. Oh. Well, it's out, and this thing is crustier than I ever imagined. It's falling apart. And look at the top of this thing. Wow. Yeah, so that's getting replaced with one of these. These beautiful boys. In comparison. So small. So it's almost concerning how small it is, because I don't know if I'll be able to get it back in by myself. So we're gonna try this out. But now it's the reverse process, obviously. So we're gonna put this one in, and I'm gonna make sure that these 2 rears are the exact same. So then when I put them in, the car is completely level. Obviously, we're not gonna be able to match that height. That's just not possible. So we're gonna put it in and see what it looks like. right, the coilover is on, and for reference, I went ahead and put the wheel on, and this is hilarious. So obviously, we're gonna have to raise it up a little more than that. That's just really tight. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and lower the coilover, or raise it, I guess, and get it to the proper height. So let's get to that. All right, I have the coilover adjusted now, so it's raised up pretty high. Can fit my whole hand in there. Fenders are gonna need rolled at some point. I'm not too worried about that. So we're gonna let this down, and hopefully that doesn't touch tire. I mean, hopefully they're stiff enough. We'll see, I guess. Okay, car is fully lowered, and it's pretty tight, honestly. I don't know if it'll cut tire. It'll be close, and I might be able to take something just to roll under there just in the meantime. But honestly, not bad. If the fenders weren't an issue, the quarters, then I could go even lower, but right now I definitely can't, so we're good with that. We're gonna go ahead and match that to the other side, and then we'll see what happens. Now that the driver's side rear is done, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the passenger side, which I'm not gonna film much. I'm just gonna do a time lapse. You already know how to do it because you watched this side. So I'm gonna get that done, match it to this other side, and then we'll move to the fronts. Both rear coilovers are on, and the car is pretty low right now. I'm fairly certain I'm gonna have to roll these fenders, like probably before I drive. So we'll have to figure that out. But as far as fitment goes, it's pretty good. She's low. Show you the other side real quick. And they should be fairly level with each other. Decent fitment, not bad. Could probably use some spacers, but that's for the future. I'm not worried about that now. Yeah, cool. So now it's just the fronts, which will be a piece of cake because I rebuilt the whole front suspension on this car. But I'm doing that tomorrow, not today. So that's it for me tonight. But I'm very happy with how the car looks right now. That looks so much better than the other, So yeah, once we get the front lowered, it's going to be a world of difference. But for now, this is how she's looking. Look at the rear. That is crazy. Oh man, I'm so excited to see this car out on the actual road with the new fitment. So yeah, anyways, I'll be back tomorrow to finish that up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start on the front of the car now, which these ones should be even easier than the rears. It's going to be the two nuts up top and then one on the bottom, which I'll show you when I get the wheel off. But I'm going to go ahead and jack the car up in the air and take the wheel off, and then we'll get to that. All right, the wheel is off, and I'm gonna show you the bolt down here that needs to be taken off. Well, it's actually just a nut. It's this nut right here, and then you gotta take off your brake line as well, which is back there, and then the whole strut will come out. Okay, so the old strut is out right there, and it does not look as bad as the rear struts, but it's still pretty bad. And here's the new front strut. We got to go ahead and connect the brake line to it, and then it just goes in there, which it's hard to see. But it's going to be very, very simple. This took like 5 minutes to get out.
Boo! Boo! It's the same. You're gonna have a lot of work ahead.
Bro, I'm gonna take it back off.
Here.
How's she looking? What the heck? Did it not drop?
It's not even that much lower.
Bruh. What's going on?
Ow.
It is. It's a lot lower. I'm just gonna run that, I guess. I haven't even tried turning the wheel yet.
Oh, I think it's gonna hit it.
That can't be right. There's gotta be something wrong with the suspension on this. Unless these fenders are just that far off.
Is it the same on both sides?
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it like that. It's a touch.
Dude, turn it back on.
Steam my marks. I gotta go get my keys. All right, the front left, or the front driver's side is lowered. And I didn't go too low on the front because I wasn't really sure if it would turn properly. But it does. So in the future we can lower it more, but not right now. I mean, it's still pretty tight, but it's not very tight. So it's good for now. We're gonna move to that side and do the same thing. All right, guys, we're going to get some rollers and some pictures of the Z for the first time with everything together and the car lowered. So I'm going to go ahead and wash it up and get it ready, and then we are going to head out. This bay is looking subpar. It needs painted at some point. Plus, the coilovers with the yellow doesn't quite match. It's quite an odd color combo, but it'll be all right. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and wash this car up and hit the road. Car's all washed up and ready to go. Did a decent job. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy, but the car looks so much better now. Obviously, the paint is not in good shape, but cleans up pretty well, honestly. So we're gonna head out and get some pictures.